one of my favorite proteins.
You know what time it is? It's time to get in the game with your host, Cynthia J.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hello to the Get in the Family, Get in the Game family audience. I am your host, Tara J, and I am excited because today is a very special rendition of Get in the Game. Now, last night we saw LSU beat Clemson, and so we're celebrating, and we are here with Taco Tuesday! Woo! Yes. So for Taco Tuesday, I have joining me this evening Chef Andre Offer, affectionately known as Chef Dre. We'll talk to him shortly, and then we will introduce to you also Melinda Henry. She is our nutritionist sitting in this evening, also a wellness coach. And you know me, I'm Satara J. So this evening, we're going to talk about nutrition and the importance of nutrition when it comes to athletics, sports, and just overall health and wellness and care for your body. As some of you know, I'm a personal trainer by day, and so it's really important for me with my clientele that I teach them how to eat, the importance of eating healthy foods, hydrating, being nourished. And so this evening, my special guest, Chef Dre, who has been a chef for, how long have you been in the industry?
20 years.
20 years. So he has a lot of experience with cooking. And so tell us just quickly how you started. What made you want to become a chef?
My great-grandfather, he was the best chef ever. He ran the Naval Academy. He was a chef in the Navy. Wow. He did with Olympics, a lot of stuff. Like, he's the only person I knew that was like a master chef and and pastry chef. Like,
oh, wow.
He could do anything. So I stayed with him over the summers in Maryland, and he just inspired me. And after I finished running around, I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna be a chef. So.
Very cool. And so if you heard him correctly, he said he's from Maryland. And so one thing that we find, Chef Dre and Miss Henry, is that down here in the South, people love their seafood. And I'm from Delaware, and so we know about the Maryland blue crab. And one thing that I have tried that you make that is phenomenal is your crab cake.
Yes.
And so kind of explain to our Jacksonville listening audience, what is the difference between crabs in the South and crabs in the North? Please set the record straight.
No comparison.
Yeah.
The crabs come out the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland.
Yes.
People fly there to go eat crabs, so it's not a comparison. The taste is just phenomenal and well seasoned. It's just a big difference. You can taste it. They're more fuller. You know, you can get a dozen of crabs up north, $80. You know what I mean? Down here, large is $20.
Right.
And it's not really large.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The quality. And one thing that you do is you get your crabs from Maryland when you do your crab cakes down here.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. So, I am, just for those who don't know, I myself am a pescatarian. So tonight we're going to have salmon tacos, which is amazing. And so as he starts to cook, he's going to tell you what he's putting in the dishes. And if people want to follow you, how do they do that?
At Chef Dre 77 on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. And so you're a chef by day and you also do meal prep. So talk about meal prep and the importance of meal planning and what you do for your clientele.
Well, I do it so a lot of people don't eat when they're supposed to. So they'll be like, what I've experienced is people say, well, I'm not hungry, but you're not just supposed to eat when you're hungry. You're supposed to feed your body, especially when you're working out. So like the athletes, the NFL players, NBA players, just athletes in general, or people that just train. You know, workout, bodybuilders, weightlifters, all of that stuff. You're supposed to eat on a regimen, keep feeding your body proteins to help burn that fat off of you, or just to stay pleased.
Right.
Yeah.
To stay in shape, right? The way I explain it, and you probably had this experience, the way I explain it to my clients is when you're not eating, it's like trying to drive a car with no oil or gas.
That's exactly
Food
right.
is energy, and if you're eating the right food, you're going to have fuel
Plenty of
to
energy.
go throughout your day. And we'll talk about that a little later as Chef Dre begins to cook. But so your experience with cooking for athletes, you've been a chef for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talk about that experience and just some of the things you noticed, the difference between a clientele of an athlete and maybe the regular everyday person.
Athletes know what they need to do to suppress their body to be on top of their game, as opposed to people that's wondering. You know what I mean? They'll try it. Sometimes it's not for them, or they don't want it to be for them. And then, you know, the athletes, they push because they get paid for it.
Right.
So they have to keep their bodies in tip-top state.
And that's where I think the benefit of meal prep comes in, because for people who don't know how to eat or what to eat, they can look to someone such as yourself to create the meal for them. So what are some of the type of meal preps that you do? What can people get from Chef Dre? What can they expect if they order meals from you?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So you cook for the vegan?
Pescatarian, vegan, vegetarian, everything. High protein, everything. You want juicing, I can do that for you as well.
So you do everything. So he also, from experience, he also is a gluten-free and wheat-free chef if you're like me and live in a bubble and have a whole lot of food allergies. What is one thing you notice? Because as we know, vegan, gluten-free, this sort of craze just kind of recently happened. So how did you have to shift the way that you chef, so to speak, to make sure you can accommodate those people who are vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and have those certain food allergies?
Well, I just like to please, and I worked in a hospital for years in Maryland, and I cooked for all different diets and people, so I just learned to do it, you know, schooling and stuff like that, books, and then I just wanted to be able to give people, not leave people out with certain things, like macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
For you, like the vegan macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Well, I'll use coconut milk or things of that nature. So I just want people to still have that taste and be good, but it goes along with their diet.
Okay, now we know everyone's not a chef, okay, because you just can't be unless you're going to go to school to do it, right? But as a chef, what do you feel are the top 3 to 5 ingredients that you must have in your kitchen in order to cook a well-balanced, full, wholesome meal?
Garlic,
Okay.
number one.
Which we can smell. There's garlic in this shit. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to show you when I eat the food that there's garlic here.
Garlic, olive oil, pepper, and I say sea salt or pink Himalayan sea salt.
Awesome. What is the one ingredient, whether it be a seasoning or a condiment, that can help someone who's not that good of a cook add flavor to their meals?
Always garlic.
Garlic.
You
Okay.
can't lose.
Garlic.
And
number
so
one.
what if someone, because garlic can be strong, right? What if someone's like, Chef Dre, I'm not a fan of garlic and I don't really like the smell, I don't like the odor. What can they substitute for garlic?
Peppers,
Okay.
bell peppers.
Awesome.
Yeah, they can bell peppers, onions, red onions.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna let you start cooking, and you know, go slow enough so that the people can see what you're cooking. Tell us what you're cooking, and we're just gonna have a conversation about the ingredients that you're using and the importance of eating healthy and nutrition, especially this time of year, because people always start the year with a resolution to either lose weight, eat better, get in the gym, work
Right.
out. So we're going to let you start doing your thing and tell us what we have here. What are we eating? We already said tacos, but what's going
We're
in
gonna
the tacos?
have
What's
some
the flavor?
Pan-seared salmon tacos with a side of pico de gallo.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Well, let me kind of step out of your way and let you get moving here. We're going to move this chair over to the side. And we're going to stand here because I like the smell and the aroma of food. So we're going to talk while you cook. And listening audience, viewing audience, if you have any questions about anything that we're doing here, definitely comment on the post. Let us know. You can definitely get in touch with Dre by following him at Chef Dre 77. He does meal prep. He does juicing. He does everything that needs to be done for you to have a good side of meals. So, Melinda, we're going to talk now about health and nutrition, wellness, the overall health and wellness of not just an athlete, but a person in general. So this time of year, we know that people are joining the gym. They're trying to get their eating habits down. What is one fad?
Some saltines,
Okay.
fresh garlic,
Fresh
and
garlic. Okay. What
olive oil.
Olive oil and garlic, good. What is one fad that you would say is maybe the biggest disclaimer that you want to point out as a health professional that people should do when it comes to starting their New Year's resolution?
Be realistic.
Okay, and what do you mean by be realistic?
Well, a lot of times people start off the new year with the 21-day Daniel fast.
Okay.
And it's just fruits and vegetables. And they, do that for 21 days. And then their body has not had the things that they're used to eating. So after 21 days, they immediately go back to what they're used to doing. So there's no real balance. It's 21 days, they do the cleansing and the detox. And then 22nd day, they go right back to what they're normally doing.
Okay, and so you said that's what people normally do. So why should they not do that? What are the dangers of going back immediately to foods that you've been eating? Well, that you haven't been eating,
Okay.
right? What's the danger in that?
So, number one, they begin to shock the body. And a lot of people lose a lot of their energy, which they're used to having because they're used to eating the carbs, which is okay to have carbs, but a lot of people carb out on the breads and the rice. They overdo it instead of the balance. And so they lose their energy, they lose a lot of clarity, and they wonder why they don't have the clarity in the mind, their thought processes, and the thinking. It's because their body has not had a balance of the carbs.
They don't have the proper nourishment. So what are you putting in the skillet now?
I have some green bell peppers
Okay.
and some red onions. I'm going to saute those up.
I'm going to grab an onion and eat it. People are probably saying, ew, she's eating a raw onion, but
Onions
Are
are
good
good
for
for cleansing. They have an antibacterial effect on the body, so especially now during this season, it's cold
Right,
season.
right.
So plenty of garlic and onion is good. And bell pepper as well. Bell pepper provides the body with fiber.
Yeah.
And so what goes in, you want to flush it, get it out. When your body has a cleansing effect, which is another reason why they do the 21-day Daniel fast, they want to cleanse up a lot.
woo, Flip, don't get any garlic on me. Okay, these are I want to keep my clothes fresh, okay?
And then if you notice too, the audience, you can't smell it, but for the most part, when you do cook, it has such an aromatherapeutic.
Yeah.
Cooking is aromatherapeutic as well. Smelling the garlic, the onion, and the pepper.
Right. Now, for the people that freaked out because I ate a piece of raw onion and green pepper, what is the difference between, because people don't like raw vegetables, but why are raw vegetables so good for you?
Your body absorbs the nutrients quicker with the raw.
Okay. So a lot of times we see, we'll go to events and there's a veggie tray, and right in the center of the veggie tray is ranch, blue cheese. Sometimes there's caramel. There's all kind of dressing
and sauces. Right.
Why do we want to stay away from that type of stuff?
Loaded with a lot of fat. So
Okay.
we figured that we'd eat a lot of salads because it's filling. The raw is good for the body and the cleansing. But then you add all the calories with the fat and overindulgence of fat, which sabotages our weight loss as well.
Don't ever touch a chef's knife.
Don't ever touch a chef's knife. Okay, I won't anymore. You just missed an onion, and I love onions, so I wanted to make sure this is almost looking like fajitas. And to be honest, I could eat that by itself. I wouldn't even really need any salmon. But okay, so let's go back to nutrition. You were going to say something?
Well, for the person that might be vegan and not pescatarian, they would add some broccoli to that, which is another your calcium, your vitamin C.
Broccoli is good for the bone.
Good for the bone density,
right?
which is where the calcium comes in at. So you could load it up with vegetables if you didn't want to add the protein.
Right. Okay. And so, how do you eat? What is your meal nutrition of choice?
I try to balance. I do not do the meats. Of course, I'm pescatarian vegan as well. And the reason why I chose that, it actually chose me. My body stopped digesting the meat.
Okay.
I wasn't able to chew it, and I thought, why waste my time, calories, energy, and money on something that my body didn't want? And if you pay attention to your body, it will tell you what it wants, what it doesn't want, by the way that it reacts to it. So it is important to pay attention to how your body responds to foods.
And that's a good point that you made, because I think a lot of times what people fail to do and realize is that your body will tell you what it needs. For example, dehydration, right? Got the salmon. Okay, that looks good. Now, really quick, we'll go back to dehydration, but you're cooking the salmon with the skin on it. Does that change the flavor of the salmon? Because a lot of people get that skin off.
You can take it off, but I feel the skin's more protein.
Okay.
It holds in the flavor.
Okay.
Keeps it together. So I keep the skin on.
So did you just tell me I'm going to eat a salmon taco with skin on it?
I can take it off.
Okay, take mine
That's
off.
what the
you
chef
want
knife
skin,
for.
skin or
no,
no
thank
skin?
you.
No skin. Okay. So no skin for us.
I cook it and I just pull it off.
Plus, there's a little fat in the skin as well, so it's going to help keep the
Omega.
skin from burning. Omega-3 is in
and
the
another
fish.
thing.
Yes.
People need to get their blood type checked to know what their body needs and what it rejects.
That's good. That's like a whole nother show. You're adding
more
stuff,
scientific.
a little bit more than we are. But I'm glad you said that, because that is, I actually, at one point about 2 years ago, did a blood test, and it's good to know what you're lacking and what your body needs so that you can know how to eat. And it was actually the blood test that helped convince me that I needed to pull away from meat, and that's why I became a pescatarian. I think, let's go back to dehydration, because I think that something that we see a lot of people struggle from is dehydration, and some people don't know that sometimes you're not hungry, you might be dehydrated. So can you explain that a little bit
thirsty.
for us?
If you're thirsty, if you're feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And some signs of dehydration would be lethargic.
Okay.
There's no focus. A lot of people have stomach issues.
Okay.
And they think and a lot of times it might be attributed to the food, but if your body isn't getting enough water to push through what you've already eaten, then you will have some digestive issues.
And gut health is important, right? And if you're not flushing properly, if you don't have proper hydration, your body's going to tell you. Another way you can know if you're dehydrated is sometimes people get headaches. Blurred vision.
A big issue with
right,
that.
blurred vision. High blood pressure too. You can, if you pay attention to your body, you can actually feel in the moments where your blood pressure may be rising.
Because you have a slight headache. And water flushes.
Yes.
90% of our body is water, so give it what it already is. I like to term this key to wellness. Overall wellness is hydration, circulation, digestion, and elimination. If you're on point with all four of those, it's like the footstool to wellness. Chair has footstool, four legs. If you're missing on one point, your chair
you're gonna
is
fall
limped.
out of your chair.
That's
right.
exactly right.
So say those 4 components of wellness. And this is in your opinion. You've been a personal trainer for how long?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years. You also have a diabetes nonprofit organization.
DEAN, Diabetes, Exercise, Education, and Nutrition. Again, the footstools to wellness.
Right. And I brought up that point because you're a professional at this, right? So say those components again, and let's break those down Dre, you can definitely chime in as far as being a chef and what you've seen with nutrition. Let's break down those 4 components.
Hydration.
Hydration
is the #1 staple, because if your body is not getting the water that it properly needs, then it's going to be the first catalyst that's going to lead to the ailments and the issues that we talked about.
Another reason why, Dre, hydration is important is because if you're not hydrating, the food that you're eating is not going to get to where it needs to go in your
It's
body.
going to impede the digestion process.
Right. So what are some foods in your years of being a chef that people should kind of limit their intake of?
Pork,
Pork, okay.
beef.
Beef, okay.
Definitely beef.
Okay.
Takes so long to digest.
To digest, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, when it comes to beef and pork, if you're not hydrating properly, I mean, normally it can take 24, 36 hours, 48 hours to digest. But if you're not hydrating properly,
It's going to take even
it's
longer.
going to take
Yeah.
even longer. What are some other things? So beef, pork, you want to limit. Listen, this show is not to convince anyone to become a vegan, vegetarian. You have to find, what I tell my clients is, your balance in the healthy you.
Right.
You want to find the most healthy
And again, if you
version
pay
of
attention
yourself.
to
That
your
is
body.
amazing. Can you lift that up and let them see that? Woo! Look at that! That's better than a steak, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you. What are some other foods, Melinda and Dre, do you feel that people should kind of steer away from, especially if they are on a health and fitness kick and they want to lose weight or get healthy in this new year?
Sugars.
Sugars.
When you say sugars, would be
#1.
definitely #1.
Sugar's #1, and like white potatoes.
Okay.
White flours.
Yeah, white flours. Get the almond flour,
Okay.
gluten-free flour,
Okay.
and it's affordable. Like they sell it in Walmart. So,
Okay, cool.
You know.
So one thing about sugars, Miss Melinda, that people don't understand is when we talk about sugars, we're not just talking about white sugar,
White sugar.
brown sugar. What other sugars are there that people eat every day and may not even notice?
Bread.
If sugar's in everything,
down.
and particularly those things that are packaged, if you can't take it up out of the ground, rinse it and eat it, then you're going to have an overabundance of unnatural sugars. And those are the things that impede the health and wellness of your body. And a lot of times people don't understand too how sugar sabotages your immune system.
Wow.
So a lot
Okay.
of times what we perceive as a cold or flu is just an overindulgence of sugar. And if you pay attention
No
to your
kidding.
body, it will tell you how it would react to that.
Well, I know that to be true because I had a similar experience about a year ago where a friend of mine made some banana bread and I didn't know there was white sugar in it. Ate the banana bread because for those people that know me, I am a stickler for muffins and any kind of bread. That's my go-to. I'm not really big on sweets. And within 30 minutes, I felt like I was having flu-like symptoms.
Exactly.
My body
Yep.
immediately told me that it was, at that point, rejecting
The
sugars.
sugar.
Right.
And you're right, it will give you the flu-like symptoms because it suppresses your immune system. For the
Wow.
most part, if we pay attention, it will tell
if
you
we
that.
pay attention.
If you pay attention.
And if we're educated. And that's what I appreciate about Get in the Game. Okay, we are a sports show, but there is so much more to sports than just throwing
Getting on
a
the
ball, shooting a hoop, running down the track. Because nutrition is an integral part of an
It
athlete's
prepares your
life.
body for the field, for the professional to make their money.
That's
If
exactly
you notice,
right.
a lot of your athletes, in particular your professional athletes, are very good at how they eat and what they eat.
That is true. And they have access to a lot more as well. But we're showing now here on the Get in the Game that you don't have to sign a $40 million contract to be able to afford meal planning and prepping. So I'm excited about this show this evening. So hydration was one. What's the second component?
Circulation.
Circulation. And what do you mean by circulation?
It's your cellular level,
Okay.
taking the nutrients that you take in, circulating to every important organ in your body before we get to the digestion of it and then the elimination, all 4 points.
Okay. And Chef Dre, you might want to chime in on this. What are some foods that people can eat that can help if they're struggling right now with circulation, they have circulation issues? What are some foods that they can eat to help assist in their circulation?
Most of it's going to be your citrus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your citrus foods are going to help with the
Pineapples,
circulation.
lemons.
Pineapples, lemons. Okay. What
Wow.
about some, are there certain...
And then you can use your herbs. One
Yeah.
of the herbs that we have not cooked with in this meal, but is your turmeric.
Okay.
It's great for circulation.
Great.
Turmeric, okay. What about like cayenne pepper?
Cayenne pepper helps raises the metabolism, and
Okay.
when the metabolism is up, you're in exercise fat burn mode, which is definitely going to help with your circulation.
Awesome. Well, I don't need any cayenne pepper on my tacos, so we're gonna leave out the cayenne pepper tonight. Okay, so we got hydration, circulation. Anything else you want to add about circulation? Are there any supplements, minerals, vitamins that people can take to help with circulation?
Well, there is, but again, that's another one of those shows we don't want to be too technical about. If you don't mind, we just want to kind of keep it simple.
Right.
With your vitamin C's are great for circulation, though.
Awesome. Okay, so what's the third component?
Elimination.
Elimination.
What goes
Does
in
that mean-
must immediately,
okay.
as soon as
Okay.
possible, get out. That's where you find yourself being sluggish.
Okay.
A lot of our elimination problems come from sluggishness, not having enough fiber in your system will impede your elimination.
This is I'm losing
I
track of
know.
what you're saying because my stomach is loving this
As
right
well
here.
as the nose.
Okay, so before we get served, well, I'm going to let you serve her first because I'm going to keep talking. Let the people know what you're doing now. So the
So I'm
salmon's
putting
done.
it together. I have the sauteed peppers, onions, and garlic, and I'm gonna put some pico de gallo on there, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna give you some of your special sauce.
Okay, special sauce. We're not going to tell people why it's special or what's in it. Now, if people don't like, what other toppings can you add to a salmon taco?
And you can add whatever you want.
Okay, so beans. We can do beans.
You can have black beans. You can have fresh cilantro. You can
Cilantro is another cleanser,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you mentioned that when you talked about helping with circulation, digestion, and elimination. A lot of people don't use the parsleys and the cilantros, but they're good for circulation.
This is exciting.
this
We're
would-
going to serve our guests first.
This would be a great post-workout meal.
Okay.
Because of the protein
Okay.
which comes in the salmon, the cleansing. A lot of times when we exercise,
Lactic acid.
lactic acid. Thank
Okay.
you so very much.
Gets built up.
Gets built up. So you want to help push the lactic
Break that
acid, which is
down.
going to help with the circulation and the digestion and elimination. And then we have our carbs, which a lot of people run from. But carbs is part of the energy. It's choosing the right carb, a light carb,
That's
and
corn
not too many
tortillas
carbs.
too.
And these are, as our chef just said,
Corn tortillas, which are gluten free.
okay. And he did gluten-free because he knows that his host of the day is gluten-free. So before you bite into that, I know you're ready to eat, but let's tackle this last component.
Okay.
The last component is a fitness. So we had hydration, circulation,
digestion,
elimination.
and elimination.
Okay,
Those
so
are the
digestion.
keys in the foot to wellness.
Okay, and so digestion is basically just speaking to how well your food digests.
For sure, because if you're digesting and your body is taking in all the nutrients that your body needs in order to be well.
Okay, so in all actuality, I know you're getting ready to eat, but I have to ask a question because you said elimination. You hear people talking about it all the time. I don't go to the bathroom that often. I might go once or twice a week.
Which is totally unfortunate. And you know, again, it lends to the sluggishness. But I like to parlay that with babies.
Thank you.
Always, as a baby, you know, you eat, and shortly after that, you're eliminating. So we're just adult babies who have let life get in the way, so our elimination system has suffered from that. But you should go to the bathroom at least, if you're eating 3 times a day, you should be eliminating 3 times a day.
Wow. Okay, so for those of you who have not gone to the bathroom today, go eat some prunes or get some apple cider vinegar and get to the bathroom.
Or check your water content, because the water is going to help push it through.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and bite into yours and let's tell the
I really
people.
do, because it is about that time. And you were talking about the athletes eating on a timely manner. And again, it goes back to the baby. Baby gets every 3 hours is when we should be eating something. Whether it's a full meal 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between your 2 snacks. So every 3 hours helps keeps the metabolism going, helps get your digestive system, your elimination system, all your wheels on the vehicle running properly with the water, which will be the fuel along with the calories to take us throughout the day.
You can keep talking if you want, and I'll keep eating, so continue on. No, this is amazing, so go ahead and try yours. I just want to talk about how long you cook the salmon. Because some people, you know, everyone's not a chef, so let them know how long you should cook salmon and when you know it's done. Can I have some extra sauce? Do you mind? Oh, okay. Is that you're doing?
Thermometer.
Okay, so I'm gonna get some extra sauce while he plays with the thermometer. Thank you so much. And we can't tell them what this is because it's secret sauce, right?
Yeah.
It's something that
secret
you make.
sauce. It's Chef Dre's taco sauce.
Wow. Okay, so go back to the thermometer. We're gonna eat while you show the people what you're doing.
Okay, so it's different temperatures for seafood, chicken, and if you're not well versed in it or knowledgeable in it, you just check it. You can look it up. You can Google. You know what I'm saying? You can Google the temperatures it's supposed to be at. But I always like to cook it a little longer than what it's supposed to be, so I can secure people's. A lot of people, if the food is kind of soft, they think it's not
raw,
done.
right.
It's raw in the middle and things of that nature. So. That's how it goes.
Speaking of raw, I'm sorry to chime in, but speaking of raw, I noticed that your onions were not very soft, and as well as the peppers, they had a little crunchiness to it. So I just wanted to add too that when you cook it to it's very soft, you cook out the nutrients, and so you left the nutrients intact for us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I also
for the
want to
vegetables.
talk too about the gluten-free tortilla.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
So a lot of people have a question about, well, what is gluten and how do we know if you're gluten intolerant? And I just want to say that it is what it is, glue. So when you think of the word glue, what is it? Glue binds and sticks. And so if you're gluten intolerant, that means you're not getting the digestion of the nutrients. So your body is not functioning up to optimum. And I noticed that the tortilla is kind of breaking apart because it didn't have the glue in it.
Glue, right? Okay. And one thing I'll say, because I am gluten sensitive, which is why he brought the gluten-free tacos, is
And it's very tasty.
It is very tasty. One thing that I think he's going to serve our producer here. He's going to get a nice salmon taco. Yeah. Okay. Let us know what you think about that. So one thing about the gluten is, to maybe know you're gluten insensitive, is your stomach will give you some serious problems because it's having a hard time digesting the food like it normally should.
So pay attention, because you'll have a stomach ache shortly after you start eating the food. And most of the time we want to run for some Tums or some type of antacid. But if you just check what you've eaten, that's why food logs are very important. Then your body will tell you how it reacts to the different foods that you've eaten. And it's going to affect the weakest part of your body. So for some people, it will break out. You'll have skin issues. Check and see if you're gluten intolerant. Gluten also will mimic arthritis in certain people. So a lot of older people have gluten intolerances, but it mimics, because gluten intolerances will cause inflammation in the body, which mimics arthritis as well.
Okay, and so for people who may say, and I've had this experience, so some people may say, well, I don't have access to a nutritionist. How do I get tested? One thing that you can do, and I've done this, so I'm speaking from experience, is if you start noticing right after you eat, have a headache, or I'm really tired, or my stomach hurts, whatever you just ate, take note of that. Take a 2-week break. Take 2 weeks off of whatever meal you just ate and see if you still have those same symptoms. Because 9 times out of 10, when you give your system a break from something that it is almost running from for you to stop eating, you'll notice a big difference in it. So as a chef, what are some things that you, just some culinary to-dos and not to-dos when you're cooking in the kitchen that can keep people safe and sanitized while they're cooking?
Oh, well, always have your sanitizers, have your sanitizer water ready, to place it in there. And I just say, just keep it simple. People try to do too much, thinking, oh, well, you have to do all of this and all of that. You don't have to. You can keep it simple. Get things like grapeseed oil to cook with, avocado oil. You know what I mean? Get natural herbs and seasoning, spices and stuff like that. Or go to Bed Bath & Beyond and get your own grinder and get your fresh herbs and grind it up yourself. Make your own blends. So
awesome. One thing you mentioned that I would love for you to speak to is the component of juicing. A lot of people adults struggle with eating their fruits and vegetables, which in the opinion of a nutritionist or wellness coach, you may hear, I typically tell my clients 3 of each a day. Try to get in 3 fruits and 3 vegetables a day. But for people who maybe struggle with eating their right amount of fruits and vegetables and they want juicing, what are the benefits of the juicing?
Liquid assimilation. Again, it can be very difficult to get. It used to be called the 5-a-day program, getting 5 servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. Now they're recommending 9. So you take 2 oranges, an apple, some celery, some spinach, and pop it into the blender. So now you already have your 5 very easily. Becomes an 8-ounce juice. You can take it with you, part of the food prep program. And then you've got 5 of them down. So now for the rest of your snack, you may have an apple. There's 6, 7. And then at the end of the day. So it's easy to assimilate and get your nutrients in by juicing. Convenience.
Awesome. Now this is interesting what just happened, because this can be a good point of portion control. I am one of those people that I love sauces. And I know that I can overdo it. You guys are probably wondering, how is this lady doing? She's my mother. That's why she can dip in my plate. It's okay. We have the same germs, okay? We come from the same DNA. So a lot of people overdo it with sauces. Yeah. So as a chef, do you typically serve people sauces on the side? Do you put it on the meal? How would you suggest someone who has an issue with portion control, like myself, when it comes to sauces, to prevent from adding extra sugars or salts that they don't need?
Well, it just depends on the customer, the person, and I give it to them on there, just a little glaze, and I put some on the side. A lot of people I've noticed, they like, can I get some sauce on the side? Some people don't like sauce on it; they want to dip it, like Mom.
She dips.
So usually you can measure by the tablespoon. Will give you enough fat content for that meal when you talk about portion control. So teaspoon to tablespoon, depending on what actually is in the sauce.
Awesome.
And stop using sugar. Use agave.
Okay.
I love it. I make tea with it. Like it's great.
Agave is better for you. Okay, awesome.
Less salt naturally from the plant.
Yeah.
So one thing we also want to tell people, a lot of times people, when it comes to counting calories, you know, one fact to share with you guys is there's 3,600 calories in 1 pound of fat. So you're somebody trying to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to let you do the math, right? But when it comes to counting calories, as a chef, what do you, I would like both of you to chime in on this, what do you recommend people do who kind of struggle with, I don't know what to eat, I don't know how to eat, I don't know how many calories is in this, I don't know if I'm overeating, undereating. What would you recommend?
So calories are going to come from a lot of your additives in your food, most of your calories. From those of us, those of us have never been on it, but a lot of people are also on the Weight Watcher plan. And most of their calories are counted by points. And there's empty calories and empty points, or really the points, in most of your fruits and your vegetables. So you can eat a lot of those and still get your 3,600 calories a day without the additional fat with your sauces. So munch up on all the fruits and vegetables your body can take in, and not worry. You don't have to worry about calories if you're not a calorie counting person or a technical person when it comes to counting calories.
Okay.
But most of your meals are 500 calories, 500 calories for breakfast, 500 calories for lunch, 500 calories for dinners, and 3 times 5 is 15, so that's 1,500 calories, which is your average meal plan for the day.
Okay, so we have some people online that are watching live. When Chef Dre steps back in, he's going to give you his contact information so that you can contact him about food prep and meal planning. Now, another thing about counting calories is a lot of times Americans, we're so used to meat being the main portion. But we have found recently, studies have shown that when it comes to gut health, meat should really be, a side dish. So when you talk about a healthy looking plate, what should our plates look like? Come on back in, Chef.
Whatever you hold in your
salmon?
hand.
Sure.
Whatever you hold in your hand is your portion. So let me just add this a little bit. When you talk about your calories, believe it or not, we had the craze with the Impossible Burger at Burger King. And with the Impossible Burger at Burger King, without the fixing, is actually over 2,000 calories.
Say
The burger-
that one more time.
1,800 to 2,000 calories for the Impossible Burger. So when you go into Burger
The Impossible Burger where?
King, at Burger King,
Okay. How many calories?
1,800 calories
In one burger.
in one burger.
Okay.
So
And for
that's
most
actually
people,
half of your calories for the day.
not even half, because most people shouldn't go over 1,800 if you're trying to lose weight. And this is why you need to get with a health professional to find out where you should be, what you should be eating, and because that plays a role in how you work out, if you're going to lose, if you're going to maintain. Go ahead really quickly. People are asking, what's your contact information? How do they get in touch with you? And talk slow so I can finish eating this taco.
Well, you can get with me at Chef Dre 77 on Instagram, or you can email me at offeringexcellencecatering@gmail.com. So
Can you spell that for them while I eat? Thank you.
OFFEREXCELLENCE catering@gmail.com.
One more time for the people.
OFFEREXCELLENCE catering@gmail.com.
And what type of meal planning do you offer? Weekly, daily? How can people order with you?
I mostly do it weekly, but they can get it weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, however they need it.
Hourly, because that's how good the food is. So you're going to want something from him every couple hours. And that's how often people should really be eating, really.
Every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours.
The same way we did the babies, we're just large babies, is every 3 hours. To give your body time to use the nutrients for the energy for your day, give it time to process and digest, and then start all over again. So if you're eating about 500 calories when you eat, you'll know that you're hungry again. People say, well, I just ate. Well, you only ate 500 calories. Your body used it. And know that, too, that during the digestion process, you're burning at least 10% of the calories that you took in. So it's okay to have, that many calories.
Okay, and eat that many times a day, because sometimes people are like, oh, I'm only going to eat twice a day, and they think they're going to lose weight. But
So
that's
what happens
not
then
right.
is you slow down your metabolism, and then you wonder why you haven't lost the weight.
That's
Stretching
it.
your stomach.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about really quickly, because I want to finish eating my tacos, so we're going to close out so we can eat. Everybody in the studio audience is going to have whatever's left if I don't finish eating it. People love sweets. They got to have their cookies. I want my pies. I want my cake. So let's get way ahead of those 10 pounds that come for some people in the last months of the year. And let's give them advice on, if they want to have something sweet, what are some of those things that they can eat? And what do you personally provide as a chef for people who want something sweet with their meals?
I mean, I do gluten-free, fat-free, vegan desserts, all different things.
So if I could chime in, and I'm one of those persons who, when I stopped eating meat, my tongue palate wanted more sugar. So in order to not to have an overindulgence, which sometimes we do, let's face it, we're human. So one of the things I would like to encourage people to do is balance out your plate. So with my salmon taco, I might have an additional, side of greens, a piece of fruit, and maybe a piece or two of dark chocolate, which will also provide some nutrient facts with the antioxidant with the dark chocolate, which will help satisfy that and give you some nutritional value.
Okay, so dark chocolate sounds great. But for what about people who are like, I'm a German chocolate triple layer, 12 dozen donuts in one weekend, or I want 2 scoops of ice cream every time I watch a movie? What about those people? Are there alternatives that people can find where they can still have their sweet fix?
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to cut that out, period. So that's just not healthy. It's not an option. So if they're trying to get healthy, that's not an option. But they can. Whole Foods has vegan desserts.
Okay.
Fresh Market, all of those places you can get sugar-free stuff with not the fake sweeteners, the artificial sweeteners and stuff like that, and just go with fruit.
Fruit or trail mix with
trail mix.
with the chocolate in it, or dark chocolate because of the antioxidants, or with the papayas, the bananas, chips, and the things of that nature. And if you don't give your body a little bit of, because sugar does have its purpose in our bodies, if you don't give it a little bit of it and keep it balanced, it's going to ask you for an overindulgence of it. And particularly if you have not had your calories throughout the day, your body's going to ask you for salt and sugar at the end of the day in order to complete your calorie round.
And that's where the binging comes in.
That's where the binging
While
comes
they're
in
watching Monday Night Championship football, Doritos, Haagen-Dazs, all that.
And I would
stuff.
recommend and encourage too that just keep it balanced. Keep it balanced, keep it simple, and keep it moving. Have a little bit of the nutrient meal and then have a little bit of the side items on an occasion so that you don't binge.
Okay, and so for people who want to get in shape, want to get healthy, need a coach, need a nutritionist, need a personal trainer, how can they find you?
I'm on Facebook at Melinda Henry, or plug shamelessly, I'm at the Johnson Family YMCA.
Okay, and that is
5700 Cleveland Road on the northwest quadrant of Jacksonville, Florida.
okay, awesome. And so, listen, we have had an amazing time here with you guys this evening. I'm going to get out of here so we can finish eating. Don't forget, you can catch Get in the Game sports show that also eats on their sports show.
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Shout out to LeBron James for convincing the whole country that you're not really doing it on Tuesdays if you're not having tacos. But you can follow Get in the Game on Tuesday evenings. We are here live, coming to you from 904 Live Studios here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also on Facebook Live. You can follow me, Get in the Game show, with Satara J, your host, on Instagram and Twitter at Bunch of Legs. BUNCHE, the letter A, and legs spelled LEGZZ. And if you would like to become a sponsor for the Get in the Game family, we would love to have you. Give me a call, 856-296-5108, or you can email getinthegameshow@gmail.com. Thank you so much to my producers. We're going to go feed them. It has been fun, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, where we're going to be talking about the overall care and body of the athlete. We're going to be joined by a strength and conditioning coach and a massage therapist to talk about the outside of your body. Catch you guys then. Have a good evening. This is good. Thank you so much.